Hey all, welcome to Behind the Lens for another episode. Today we'll be interviewing Lion and Raptor. Lion and Raptor, would you like to introduce yourself for those who may not know you at home?
Hello, I'm one of the cringy orange furballs on the internet that runs Metaverse Degen, a VRChat podcast, similar to what this one here does, where we interview people on the internet within the platform VRChat.
I'm just a little shit that. Who am I? I know who I am. I can touch myself. See, I'm kidding.
I know you know, but they don't know. Look at the camera.
Oh,
tell
sorry. I'm Old Man Raptor, as most people call me, or Dirty Raptor, whatever. Blah blah blah. I answered the "Hey, shit, you come here." Well, it don't matter. So I'm just the assistant host for Metaverse Degen, and I have to put up with him, and he puts up with me, and we give each other shit. But the best part of that shit, nobody has to clean it up but us. That's a good way to look at it.
No, I'd certainly agree. It's the best kind of friendship is being able to take the piss out of each other, but it's all in good fun.
Always in good fun.
Oh, we do. Shake the piss or just shake it? I'm not shaking his schlong just to get the piss out of him because he's pissed the way he is.
I love it already.
How are you shaking my schlong, Mr. Raptor? That is a really good question.
I'm not. No, we've been down that road, you fuck. Fuck, you know how many times this SOB has pissed on me? We've done a video where we're hey, what are you doing? I'm washing my hands. He comes over and starts peeing on me. He had an avatar that used to pee on me. And all of a sudden you look over and all you see is this yellow thing coming out and you look up going, oh my fucking God, do you have, well, you're washing your hands. I'm just adding a little bit of soap. Yeah, thanks fucking a lot. I didn't know soap was yellow, but okay.
It's got a bit of ammonia in it, how bad is it really? However, why did you guys choose this word?
Oh, well, this one was originally a part of one of the seasons for Virality. Fun fact, we've never been, but when this was initially a part of Virality, which is Virality Luma, they our friends group found the world and we'd hang up here on the tree all the time. Now, we've never been to Virality itself. We should go this year just to actually say we went, but we would hang up here in the tree, and ever since the world was public, we spent so much time here. Like, we've gotten drunk here, we've had lots of moments. We, as a friend group, bonded, we grew here.
When you think of this world, is there any key moment in your life or history which you immediately think of when you come to this world?
Our friend group inviting people, watch them try to find where we are from the top of the tree, because
looking over the tree line
down there, and we would watch people walk around. No, well, first of all, they're trying to find us. They don't know where we are because we'd hang up here at the top of the tree specifically, and then we'd invite people, random people, no reason, and just watch them wander the forest trying to figure out. And then they eventually look up, see all the orange name tags, and go, "How the do I get up here? Why are you up there?" And they watch them slowly wander the way here, and they stand up. Then Courtney would eventually look down, "I'll help them get up here," and she'd jump down and help them.
And guide them up here. Yeah. Fucking hilarious as shit.
It's very kind regardless.
I hope that answers.
No, it answers. God, it's bad when I answer instead of answer. God, my accent's going. Please send help. But
well, we will Americanize you. Don't worry.
I regretfully do not look forward to it by any means. This will be my final episode. I'm solely going into British areas now to regain my Britishism. But
wait a minute. Does that mean you just walk out your front door, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so we got that fixed. That was a quick fix. That's the fastest we've ever fixed anything.
Hey. We break faster than we fix them.
Just
no shit.
But day one, what do you first remember in VRChat?
Oh, day one. Day
shit.
One, I met a friend of mine. Well, within day one, first week, early life for me, I met a friend of mine, Lolly Police, who we eventually made a funny lolly call with his avatar, which afterwards is like, "Fine, I know this old guy I think you'd be really good friends with." And then that's how I met him, is he dragged me into a world where him and I talked about Cursed. Back when I was a kid, there's how do I put this without like getting you in trouble? There was specific videos, shot content, one would say, that we would share, and Raptor and I, our first bonding conversation as friends was on that topic specifically, and we've been great friends since. At least for me, that's mine. Don't know about you. You've been here longer than I have.
Mine. When I first came in and everything else is when the Quest 2 came out. I actually got the Quest 2 for my daughter to help her with her anxiety. So I tried it and everything else like this. I didn't try VR right away. I tried a roller coaster and that was stupid. I had to leave the headset off for 3 days because it gave me motion sickness like a bitch. But once I put it back in and hopped in, Black Cat wasn't even exist. And everything else like this, you met friends, you talked to people, all this kind of stuff. But one of the old places I took line to, I can't remember the name of it. Sorry about that. You know, we
Oh, the Vault.
the mirror now. No, vault, not the vault. I didn't find the vault until later down the road after I could, because they changed some of the rules. You had to be up to a certain hour of content before you could travel any further than the rest of the worlds. All that stuff has changed, all that kind of stuff. And you go to this world and it still exists, but you go up to the mirror and you look like fucking crap Minecraft because you're all pixelated so fucking bad. They haven't updated it in eons. It was a main hangout. And one of the weirdest things I had this little kid come up to me and ask me a dumb fucking question. And another adult come up to me and goes, you know, you can get yourself in trouble. And I go, how in the hell am I supposed to know what his age is? That's before they had the bio up and all that kind of crap. Well, can't you listen to him? He sounds like a fucking adult. He's asking questions most kids at that age, unless they're curious, are going to ask. And I just turned around, jumped through a portal, and I was gone. Just that fucking quick. Went to a complete different place, sat there and hang around. It was a campfire. Sat there and BS with people. But that was the weirdest thing ever, because this kid was asking questions only adults should have asked. And I got thrown. I turned around. Do you know how? And I told him. This guy goes, you know, you can get yourself thrown in jail for that kind of crap. I go, how? You know, just arguing back before it was over. I wasn't even talking to the tech kid. I was talking to the other grown up, and he was giving me shit. And I said, fine, I'll fix this and gone. And that was the end of it. And never did bump heads with the person or the kid ever again. Never added anybody, because my thing in here is I don't add people. They add me. Keeps me in the clear. You know, you can check to see all that stuff, their information, if they're being truthful, all that kind of shit. So it keeps me out of being put into a spot that I do not want to be put into and be classified as, because I am older and everything else like this. So that's what, and when you do go in the when I do go into Black Cat, I go into Black Cat still being small. You see the shit that nobody actually pays attention to. And some of the shit you see, for being small, they don't even look down. They're more looking at the mirror or eye level, unless they're squatted down. You say something, then they look down going, holy shit, why are you so fucking small? Why are you so fucking big? There's different things at different levels. Pay attention to what's going on. And I've been small for 4.5 years. I get big once in a great while because I can't reach the buttons or something that somebody else has put in a world, and it's no big deal. I just get big, and then I go back to being small so I can get past, or all that kind of crap. But yeah, that's the situations. You just got to watch your situations in VR. That's just the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
You can have all the fun in the world, but all you have to do is point it the wrong way, and it can go ape shit. Boy, does it ever. I could say some weird shit, and people take it the wrong fucking way. It's fucking hilarious, but that's the way VR is.
No, that's certainly fair. Very detailed answer. Even answered a question or two of mine later on. So, thank you, but no thank you in advance. But nah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. However, you've spoken about it briefly in a sense. But what would you both consider your best memories, or best memory specifically, in VRChat?
In VRChat. Honestly, one of them is the day I met Raptor, when him and I sat in a world. I wish I remembered what the world was called, but it was like a Japanese shrine, and you spawn at the bottom of the stairs and you go up through a bunch of torii gates, and then there's the shrine. And Raptor, that was one of them. But another memory of mine, man, there's so many. The day I found a world which looks like, I think it's Termina Town or Teresa Town or something, and I found it, and then it's a Rickroll world. It's just a green square with a bunch of giant dancing Rick Astley's in the background with Never to Give You Up playing, and I started inviting everybody there, which then they got mad, and then they invited their friends because they were pissed, because if I'm going to suffer, you're going to suffer. And the next thing you know, the whole world's maxed out because everyone is like, what? No, this is horrible. Why'd you do this to me? I want to fight everybody right off the bat. It was one of my favorite memories, went on for hours. Just listen to so many people get pissed off and then immediately go into their friends list.
Yeah. Can't fault you for that.
Mine's mostly, I don't think I really have one, because it's just the people you meet and stuff like this. We got a friend that Lion and I records the stupid shit that comes out of my mouth, and if he watches this video, he knows who he is. But yeah, it's a weird situation, because I go through my rampage, especially early. I used to get on here real early in the morning before I started my new job, and get on here and stuff like this. And coffee high is a number one no for me, because I just go into tangents. I just do weird shit, just having a blast where I land, and people will come up and go, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" I had coffee, and they go, "Oh," and they leave, and you're going, you accept that excuse because I had coffee? What the fuck? And it just goes ballistically in different directions. I say some weird shit. This person records it, crams it together. He's a nut. Lion's got a few of them too because he gets bored. Anything to knock the old man down on the hot too, because I'm getting too cocky and what's so. Oh, never. But he gives me shit, and that's cool, because I'm the one who brings it up most of the time. But the Black Cat, most of the time, that's where I get most of my nicknames. I've got from you name it, because I'm small. Oh, wow, you look like a window squeak. You could squeeze the mirror, blah, 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 if somebody spits on it. How the hell do you spit on VR and get it on the mirror? I have not figured that one out. But, the plunger, the biggest one is I used to be orange. My old Fox used to be orange. It was, and everything else like this. And somebody out of the blue, a friend of mine goes, "Wow, you look like a red-tailed tampon." And and you've never seen so many people turn in a heartbeat when somebody said that, and they looked straight out. They didn't look down. They looked straight out, looking to try to figure out who this person they're talking about, and I'm standing right next to them. But the biggest, I don't really have a personal favorite, but I've had quite a few episodes in different worlds where somebody will sit on me or step on me. I say, "Excuse me," you're sitting on me and everything else like this, because people are loading up. I haven't got shot past the main entrance and everything. I go, "Excuse me," and they fucking freak because I'm underneath their ass. So you can figure out what it is. And yeah, it's just, okay, sure, no problem. But, it's just one of those things. I suspect of being down low to see what other people don't see, and the shit I can give to them, just being myself and having fun, because I'm that way in real life. If you give me a little bit of a crack, I'm going to crawl into it and just see how wide I can widen that crack, and don't think ass crack, you fuck, because I know where your brain's going. So
I didn't say anything, you did. That's your fault for bringing that last bit up.
Yeah, but yeah, I bury myself more than it's worth, but that's just who I am. If you go into VR, if you come into VR and you bump heads with somebody new or anything, you get to know those people, but they're in here as much as you are to forget their day. Most people, that's the way I see it. And it don't matter which world you hop into. You can pull your friends from A to B just to flock in, and they look at you like, why? Why in the hell did you bring me here? Like Lion says. It's just the idea, your reaction to it. Nobody's forcing you to stay, but they stay anyhow for some stupid reason. Nobody knows why. It's the way it goes.
No, certainly. But I know you briefly mentioned how you used to be an orange fox yourself, but how did you both come up with your styles, which you present yourself with in VRChat?
Initially, I started off as the tiny little lolly guy when I first popped in from Anonymous, and from there I was like, I think human avatars look weird. Nothing against them, but I thought they were boring. And so I world hopped until I found something, and eventually found Scottish Rippers and Onichis, which I'll open the avatar now and show you the earlier version. Here you are. And eventually, one of them, which eventually became this guy, a friend of of mine helped me edit the texture after I bought it from Scottish Ripper, and then I wore this, and eventually the color scheme stuck, which eventually became the avatar we're in now. And the exact styles and stuff for it is nothing in particular.
I didn't
doesn't
see
mean
it.
anything. I just thought it looks cool.
I didn't load it in
Oh
time.
no!
I saw it for like half a second.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay.
So-
I have slow loading. It's okay.
The model this Nanachi is based on is Scottish Ripper's Foxy model, which is initially orange and white. It's got little symbols on the legs and stuff, and I liked the model when I found it, and I was like, I think this looks cool. I like it, and I wore it for a while, and it's like, but I'd like a custom version of it, so I reached out to him, and I bought I got the model from him. I then changed it, retextured it, because of the help of some friends, which is one of the reasons why I rocked this style of avatar for as long as I did. It's because friends helped me. It had sentimental value, and eventually I thought I want to be something a little different, which was last year, and became Odo Golden Paws model, Foxo model, which I enjoyed, and the clothes I just thought looked cool.
Yeah, makes perfect sense.
This is the very first one I jumped in when I found the small one. Once it loads, this was what I was at first as a small avatar, and I ran around with it for quite a while, and then I found this one by accident, and I this one, the regular fox, and then the person who made the avatar that you originally see me in, she went and did some mods, changed the colors, stuff like this. She had a hell of a time getting it from the guy because I found it and offered to buy it from the guy that actually had it, but he wasn't the original owner. The original owner was somebody else, and that's why he never answered me, because I got a hold of his Discord ask, but never got returned. And then the other one, my original one that I'm in now, this one, when it loads, I had some changes to it. I bought this, the person Snuff, the creator for it, and everything else like this. I told her what I wanted into it. The other one with the hat, that's the duster, the glasses, came off with the other one that changed from orange to gray, and then it went to this one, and I added the robotic arm to it because I'm into steampunk and all that kind of stuff. So, and I've stuck with this, and I get a lot of people going, I like the avatar, but the eyes are creepy. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
There's one plus for me. Thank you very much. I'll keep sticking with it. But small avatars is where I try to have a collection of small ones. I don't switch that often. I like things that are tiny. He gets pissed about it. That's one reason, because I'll hide. He'll hop into a world. Where the fuck are you hiding? Sometimes I'm right underneath his feet, or I could be hiding in a flower pot, all that kind of fuck. And he'll look for me. Okay, you fuck. Get out of the goddamn flower pot. And I'll cry. He goes, I knew you were there. The only way he finds me, he turns name tags on. But yeah, it's just one of those things. You know, being small has its advantages, and it has its goods and its bads. The biggest bad is can't reach most of the buttons, and everything else like this. And whatever you do with anybody else, you're moving 10 times. Feels like you're moving 10 times faster than they are, but you're not. The funniest one that I ever had when I was in the orange fox. Before I got the hat and everything else like this, I was in Black Hat and I just hopped in. And people, for some reason, like small objects. I don't know why, but this girl, full size, come flying up to me, and I didn't even get out of the entryway to the main counter. She comes up and starts patting me on. You're so cute. Oh, I like your avatar, blah, 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 blah. And her boyfriend was there, and all of a sudden he comes around the corner and he goes, do you know what he's looking at? And I could not get away from it, but her crotch was dead in my face. No matter if I turned one way or another or tried to go around, she turned around, she'd get right back in my face. And I wasn't talking to her, I was talking to her crotch. And he turned around, pulled her to the side, and mentioned what was going on, and she ran. Literally dropped a portal and ran. Don't know what the fucking deal was. Nothing. I had no idea who this person was. He apologized 3 times over. So I am sorry my girlfriend just did what she did, and goes, hey, that's okay. Everybody gets to talk to an echoing London tunnel once in a while. So what the hell? And he laughed and walked away. That was the end of that situation. But, you know, it has its advantages, and being small is where like people ask me, don't you get tired of looking up? I'm not really looking up. You guys think I am, but I'm not. You know, you have to look at it and expect you look up, but you don't have to lift your head to see somebody. All you have to do is raise your eyes. That's what the gear's for, and that's what you use it for. But if I want like where I'm standing on Lion's Lay, I can float myself up to somebody's height. But sometimes I get big, but I go back. This one I have to scale back down. It ain't like my other one. If I go large and jump to another world, it'd drop me back to my original height. So it's just one of those things you play with. But I have a blast in it, so I just leave it the way it is and go from there.
Yeah, no, that's completely reasonable. Now, we know that you both take part and do the Metaverse Degen, but is there any reason why you decided to create the Metaverse Degen in the first place?
Oh, initially, it was a friend of ours, Lolly Police. We mentioned earlier. It was his idea. He wanted to do a VRChat podcast, and he brought me along because he didn't know what to do, and I didn't know what to do. So he asked me to do camera work for him. And initially, I was just kind of there, which I was bad and cringy back then. And from there, he had work and life happen, which from there he had to drop out. But he's like, Lion, you take it. I don't know what to do with it. And so from there, I ran it with another gentleman before Raptor, and we did what we could with it. And then eventually he stepped away for work as well. And then we brought Raptor along. When Raptor came on is when he switched to interviews. Before, we were just doing like a broadcast style thing where you talk about a subject, and we were just kind of having fun with it, figuring out what we wanted to do in the beginning. But once Raptor came on, we did interviews. We did a short series of interviews where we kind of did Ask the Streets kind of thing. And it's like, this is fun. We enjoyed it, but what if we get one person on and talk to them about what they do? And we did that with, I believe, first couple interviews we did was with Tim Boy and Tim Boy was one of the first ones, Como, and then another gentleman who runs Junction. And they were the first few we had on, and then that point I thought, this is fun. We want to do more of this, and then we've been doing it since. Raptor came on, we've just hit the ground running and didn't stop.
Yeah,
we just keep pushing for the people that we get to meet and stuff like this, and that's the biggest. A lot of people sometimes. I'm always waiting for some people to ask me or line, why doesn't the old man talk more? Well, mostly, no matter what the interview, it's not us. It's you. So when Line's asking the questions, I'm the smart ass one of the bunch, knowing he can too. It's just the idea that we're here for them. And once the questions start flowing, I pretty much just stand back a little bit, wait for something that I can catch a hold of, and then throw a question up and everything. I'm thinking about 60 questions. I'm thinking one. It must be the old age thing. Brain only wants to go burn one gear. He's throwing 60 gears into one. And sometimes he gets himself tongue-tied and everything else like this. And that's just part of doing a broadcast. That's what's great about the way we do it, because there's no opening. We give a few questions at the beginning and everything else like this, and that's a basic outline. And after that, we just off the cuff. And wherever it goes. And sometimes we later on down the road where he turns around and goes, well, it's all yours. It's all yours at the end of the conversation. And I try to come up with, I'm trying to think of stuff that is what Line brings up or somebody that we've interviewed up. It's hard and everything else like this, and throw a curve into it just to give an ending. It can be a nightmare. And I had one not too long ago. I walked in, I wasn't even supposed to be there because I was supposed to be at work. They let me off work early. I walked in. Here I'm standing, and the Line's almost fucking finished with the interview. He's actually did finish the interview, and then this person goes, I want to hear Raptor's ending task, and that's what he was waiting for. And I'm going, Are you serious? And he goes, yeah, I want to hear that. Well, we weren't recording. I don't think we recorded it, but I gave it off the hip with. We did. You recorded?
We didn't. No.
Did it?
I did not.
Oh, we didn't. And I was shooting off the hip, had no idea what the conversation was whatsoever, and I did the best I can. And you get the idea that that's the way it rolls sometimes, and it's weird, and it makes it fun. It makes it off the wall fun, and that's what me and Line like. can't really speak for what he is into and what he likes, but it's the idea that our number one goal for the whole 9 yards is the person on the other side that we're interviewing. It has nothing to do with us.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things we've gotten from some of the people you brought on who admitted they watch and are fans of the show is we want to know more about you. We don't know a lot about you, but the way Raptor I see it is we're sitting down with an individual like you. We want it to be about you, not us. Like when we bring you on, Raptor and I find it kind of a bit egotistical. Like, oh, we know you're here to tell us about this really cool podcast, but what about us? And then Raptor and I kind of don't enjoy that kind of thing. And so we just ask questions. We just kind of stay invisible as we can and put you in the limelight. And then at the end of it, that's it.
Yeah.
We enjoy the conversation, learning things, and Raptor and I are happy with it.
Yeah. I mean, it makes perfect sense. You know, you learn a lot of things, and as you work on things, you slowly improve it. But aside from Metaverse Degen, are there any other projects that either of you or both of you are currently working on?
Yes.
Well, we do. Lion's got himself into another pickle of his own, but that's him. But I always wanted to do a runaround broadcast where you world hop. You're alive, never got it off the ground, but it's on the back burner. It's one of those things. And then we got the puddle and everything else like this. And what's funny is up in this tree is where we come up with the idea of the puddle. That's what's weird. It's another memory and everything else like this. I had a name longer shit, and I go, and Lion keeps going, that's too long, shrink it down. And we come up with the puddle for our Patreons and stuff like this. We've got a lot of ideas of all kinds of stuff, and we're right now our biggest goal. He's got one he's added to it to himself, and that has nothing to do with the metaverse. He's doing something completely different. I'd like to stretch my legs someday. I said someday. I didn't say when, to where I can it's not really a broadcast. It's just a world hopping situation. And I get to pick on everything that's in it because that's just who I am. I pick on people with knowing you got to know your boundaries.
Yeah.
So wherever you hop to or anything like that, that's one of the setups I'd like to do. But I haven't got the avatar. It's not this avatar. It's a complete different avatar, complete different situation and everything else. But it'd still be part of the metaverse. But it's not. It's a complete different setup. And Lion's got his own.
Yep.
Setup
so
he's working on.
Code Advance, and I you probably saw him at the community meetup. Some of the worlds he showcased. Well, those worlds are part of another project him and I work on, where he's making the worlds, and he asked me to help with hosting and media and video editing of that project, which is a VRChat game show. Which is a thing more akin to most extreme kind of thing.
Yeah.
Obstacle courses, funny things, and stuff like that. And we're in the process of making the worlds and stuff for that project, which is something we may kick off next year. At least that's the hope. Some point next year we'll kick it off and get that going.
No, hopefully.
Right now, my portion is not quite yet, and he's working on the worlds. I've been helping the best I can with what knowledge I have, which isn't much. But once that their worlds are finished and we start actually jumping into it, then.
I mean,
Yeah.
I've been to a couple of the worlds which they've been shown off in the community events. I've watched them develop. They're very fun worlds. It's certainly an experience to build upon. And I look forward to what you guys have to present in the future. And when it eventually comes around. If you could make one change to VRChat to help improve it for the future, what would that be?
Oh, boy.
I would say, all the complaints aside, I would honestly like to see an in-house messaging system. Like, other than the whole invite, add a picture and a comment, but just like in-house little messenger box where you can send people who are in other instances a message or something like that. It doesn't have to be calls because we got Discord, but at least with messages you can talk with people and have intercommunication. Because Roblox, I know, has that kind of thing, and same with Chill Out VR. But I'm surprised VRChat doesn't have it yet, since it has a big player base. That's something like that hasn't sprouted yet. At least that's what I would say.
Yeah.
There's not mine is always someday, hopefully VR will flip like Ready Player One, where you get your avatar, you pick it, you go, all that kind of stuff. and you bounce from one world to another, but you have one main world that everybody shows up in.
No loading
I'd
screens,
like
I
to
think
see
he's
that.
referring to.
Yeah, no loading screens. You go to one place, and then where you go from there, you can go through a door, a common door. Just open up the door, and it takes you to wherever you want to go. And there's multiple setups. And then when you go through that one, wherever that place is, that place can carry to another one, or you can go back to the main lobby where everybody bumps heads and everything else like this, and they can go wherever they want to go. That type of deal. I'd like to see that. I really would. I think it'd be cool. I think it's going to take a lot, but it's one of those things down the road.
Yeah. I mean, both are very valid ideas. I've heard in the past other people speak about it. I'm honestly surprised they don't have the messaging system. And especially for people with slower internets, the mid-world to kind of sit in between to actually do things would probably mean a lot to people. So, both very valid suggestions.
You know, mid-world, if they had to do like mid-world instead of a loading screen, where if other people are loading, they can mix you in the mid-world with other people waiting to load.
Yeah.
Be like no time to talk, but in the loading area.
Yeah. No, that was especially if you're in a instance which is full and you're queuing, that would certainly help a lot with that. I've noticed. But
yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah. Raptor, a question which is more directly to you specifically. I'm aware that you do.
Boy, here it comes.
No, it's not as bad as you. I'm aware you do artwork, correct? Or art pieces.
I do all kinds of stuff.
Oh,
I do a lot of stuff.
I remember listening to some of the interviews just so I could ask different things which people might not have asked before. I remember you speaking about you doing art pieces. Is there any art piece you've made which you've felt most connected to?
Art pieces. You're talking. Oh God, yes. I have one that I've drawn that's in my Discord, and it's a crying eye, and it's in red. I've got actually the original one I did in high school. It's two eyes bleeding red. It's somebody's personality, and eyes to me, even in VR, if you look, Lion's got decoration in his. You probably do too. I've got weird eyes. But your eyes can, if you play your character or do your character where you're not taking it beyond its point, your character that you pick is like an art form. You picked it for a reason. Lion picked his, he's moved up in his, I've moved up in mine. You upgrade, but you stay in a certain zone. And to me, that's artwork. No matter what you do, the people that create these worlds or the avatars, they don't look at it as art. They look at it, it's just strictly a creation that moves. But if you turn around and look if you have somebody custom style an avatar and everything else. I've got one person, she hasn't been in VR for a long, long time. And she was probably the third or fourth person that ever added me, or I added back then when I really did add people and everything else. Her avatar was to the specs of her real self. And I couldn't figure out why. So when you see everybody else, they're doing whatever just to hide who they are. This person went way out. The person who made her avatar down to the specs, down to the square inch. I mean, every inch of her was her. And she goes, why should I be something I'm not? This is me. You accept me. And it was a female avatar. And I took the picture. She sent me a picture and the avatar fully standing with the clothes that she picked, and everything else was the same outfit she has at home. You can tell them apart. That person was that accurate on the art. So in a way, it was like she had herself painted in an avatar form. And it was amazing. And it was cool. And I still to this day, I ask the same dumb question: why? This is me. I'm not going to change myself to be something I'm not. And that turned on lights and stuff like that in VR. There's more people out here that are being themselves. Yeah, they put on an outfit. They might be a furry. You might get shit for being a furry. You might be this or a log, whatever. You have your reasons for the avatar you pick. To you, it's an art form, but you don't see it. Everybody calls it a wall. Some people put it as a wall or an art form. But when you get all said and done and you slowly start moving up and into VR, whatever you're doing, you start picking yourself. That's not me. You start analyzing yourself as what I want to present. Me, I'm a fox. Everybody goes, why are you a fox? Are you in the furry community? No, I'm not. I like foxes. I like furry avatars. That has nothing to do with that side of things. And I had somebody ask me, we interviewed the same person that is a furry and asked me all these questions. And it makes you stop and think, well, yeah, but the only reason I'm in this fox, because Disney made a fox and that's my real name. So if you ever figure it out, come find me. But it's the idea that I like foxes. Mm-hmm. And that's what I like, so that's what I went with. I could have went with anything. I could have been a fuzzball running around on the floor. It wouldn't have bothered me a bit. But does it represent me?
Well, Raptor,
not really.
To bring your long rant down to a similar point, why do you feel akin to the crying eyes?
The crying eyes of is this pain of everybody goes through. Mm-hmm. The artistic work into it and everything else when I put into it, I lost a good friend way back then. And I was the one tearing up for it. And everybody, a tearing red eye is very rare. You don't see it. And when you have an art piece like that you keep, and it's real life. I've got it. It's in a folder. It's big. It's a big piece. It's not a small. It's not painted. I painted that thing over and over again. And you keep putting your soul into it. So when you look at the eye and everything else, I've had people mention all different things, and I've only had one person look at it and turn around and tell me, even looking at the double eyes, not the single eye, you're in pain. Yeah, I am. Everybody is. I come into VR to get rid of from the pain that I have sitting, and when you draw paint or avatars or whatever, I leave the pain behind and get to venture forward. And the tearing eye of red is the pain that I go through day in, day out. And some people finding this out now, it's going to be, what? You don't sound like you're always in a hole. I'm always in a hole. I'll never get out of that hole. And the eyes is what is your deep soul. So everybody's got emotions or whatever it is. So I carry the eyes of the red eye tears for one thing or another. And it might even be that I'm trying to support you. Mm. I can't give you everything, but I'll give you a little. Mm. And that's pretty much what it means.
No.
If you get any of that. I know it's a riddle of its own, but
no,
it's just one of those things without getting too emotional into it.
Yeah.
Because I can.
Mm-hmm. I understand it's a hard topic for you, and I'm sorry to hear that you've gone through a lot. And
no. Yeah, you will too, young man. You will too. Everybody does. That's pretty much what it amounts to. You know, you can take a lot on somebody's shoulders of everybody else's, but when you stand back and look at yourself, it scares the shit out of you sometimes, and you just can't stand up. So you find ways out. Mm-hmm. VR's one way out. A lot of people come in here to find that way out.
Yeah.
Whatever it might be, that's their prerogative.
Well, I can certainly respect your willingness to push forwards and help others in the process. I've seen you help Lion and many others, thousands, hundreds, if not thousands, which I may not have will never meet, but it's still commendable that you still try to push forwards. And I know both of your work brings a lot of light to people, and I'm sure people are honored, grateful, and thankful for all the stuff you do. And so it is commendable.
Now, my biggest thing is I didn't hit a nerve, did I?
No.
You sound your voice cracked. Your voice changed. See, you logically the same thing in VR as I tell everybody else is you got an avatar, it's not you. Secondly, I can't see you. But the only thing we got is what hand motions that you make and your voice.
Yeah.
Your voice changed. I think I hit a nerve just a little bit, and I don't mean to, but
no?
it's there. Your voice changed. And just a little. See, I'm not trying to pick on you.
He's
That's
all
how-
right.
Don't look
Well,
at it. That's
he's
where
all
I'm
right.
going.
Bear in mind with Raptor and I, we are unapologetically will just share our life with you.
Oh
Like,
no,
we may
that's
not do
fine.
it in the podcast as much, but we'll, like, if something happened, it's happened. Most times, even if we're dealing with something, we'll still push through it, and we'll gladly tell you things. Like, it's not like we're pretending to be anything or trying to get sympathy.
Yeah,
So
no.
don't worry too much. We're like this with everybody.
No,
We're
I'm
the same people,
Mhm.
roughly. You'll see online as you would in person.
no, I do understand that. I attune myself finally to the situation, and of course things happen. You know, that's life. But I like to attune myself to understand and respectfully answer to such a response. But
Okay.
speaking on top of it, what keeps you both motivated to while you work, and how do you keep up the consistency?
I have crackhead
boy.
energy, and I don't know what a break is.
That's no shit. Can't fucking lie
So-
about that one.
No, well, for me personally, and Raptor as well, we enjoy just in doing this. Like, this is something we find fun. The whole podcast thing. I'm not trying to like become big and famous. No, I enjoy doing it. I enjoy hearing people from them. What pulls them in here? Why do they do what they do? What do they know? What inspired them? And I enjoy hearing that as a personal thing. And once it's over, I don't expect it to last forever. I don't expect to get famous at all, actually. It's just fun, and that's why it's just fun for me.
Yeah.
And that's why I continue and keep on the consistency. Courtney does that. There's been a lot of occasions which I'll get very excited and like, let's put like 7 people in the same day, and she's like, Lion, slow the fuck down. And without her, I would probably be burnt out. Not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
He's come close. He's come close to burning himself out way in the past. And what changed Lion's mind is, like I tell everybody in VR and everything else like this, even if you're a broadcaster, whatever you do in VR, you get that one person to come over and tap you on the shoulder and say, I saw your video and I loved it. Or even if they don't, it don't matter if it's an up or down situation. In our minds, we got that one person, maybe, just maybe, we got a laugh out of it. They got a laugh at what they got to watch, or they learned something. And VR is a network of different things and different people from all over the world. There's no way in hell, if you logically look at it, could you actually afford to bump heads with everybody that you've talked into VR? No, it's impossible. But in VR, you get to talk to those people. You find out what they're into. You find out if they lose somebody in their family, and you're there to support them. Or a person like me, I have had people fall asleep beside me and ask me, don't go. Don't go. Okay, I'll stick with you. And I've stuck there for hours, not doing a damn thing, but, flip up a screen, listen to music, because they want that confidence that there's somebody beside them to protect them while they crash. And sooner or later they'll wake up going, God, I got to get my ass to bed. Take the headgear off and everything else. You made a little bit of a difference. And overloads and stuff like this, Lion had it not too long ago. He was almost ready to shut the channel down. And everything else, he come to me and he goes, I don't know what to do. I'm done. And I go, take 2 weeks. If you feel the same way in 2 weeks, well, quit. I'll follow you through the shit of no matter what you want, because that's what a friend does. It was his dream. It's something he didn't know what to do with, but he's doing it. Not expecting anything from anybody or anything, but he's doing it because he likes what he's doing. When it was all said and done of those 2 weeks, hold on.
Fun factor in the 2 weeks.
That 2 weeks, he was getting close to the end. I had a gut feeling he was going to shut it down. But he come back to me and he goes, I had somebody come up and say he liked my videos and the video, and it changed. You finally got an input from a person, because we weren't getting anything. We weren't going anywhere. We were literally walking in circles trying to find ourselves to what to do. And I mean, you don't realize how much time me and Lion spent on here throwing, weaving around and around. It looked like a web that wasn't going anywhere. Just all of a sudden it started and nothing was going to catch. And after a while, you get that feeling, just like he was, that we're not going anywhere. But as a friend, I go, Lion, I'll stick with you for the thick and thin. He's like a brother to me. He's a younger brother and everything else like this. And all the shit he gives me don't matter. I just the way you look at friendship and stuff like this. But I stuck beside him. We bumped things back and forth. And he goes, oh, well, let's keep going. And I, no problem. But the biggest thing we popped up and said, I go, Lion, you got to take some of this weight off. He takes too much on. So we brought Courtney in, asked her nicely, we need a secretary. We need a secretary. We need somebody to get him straightened up. Oh, we had one where, holy Christ, I was ready to pull my hair out. We had practically, 6 people. I mean, boom, right on top of each other. And there was no way in hell we could do an interview with him unless you gave him 15 minutes. Because he laid them right on top of it without even thinking about it. Everybody gets busy. He's got a real life. So do I. So do you. You got things piled up. And if you don't write it down or have somebody help you write it down, well, Courtney says, I'll do it. And there it went. Well, at one time, Lion was a kind of person, he's changed a shit ton since he's been in VR. And it took me, slow at his speed, not mine, to get him to go out there and ask people all you can get is a no. What's a no? Is a no. That's it. They're not up for it? Cool. Go to the next person. There's plenty of people in here in VR that if they want to be interviewed and have something to say, blah, 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 and is worthy of what we want. Not saying that none of it is. I'm saying if they've got a goal and they're sticking with it and they're going forward with it and they're enjoying what they're doing, that's the direction we're going. And he started venturing out on his own. I used to be the one going around hunting them down. That was my job. He took the job and started doing it on his own. And voila, you got Lion. Lion's doing things that he walked outside his bubble. Me, I'm my age, I've been doing it for years. I work with the public like that. You say it, you do it, no big deal. He's in a complete different zone. Don't get me wrong, he works with the public, but it's a complete different field. If you look at it, it's just a job. Well, if you come in here and you think it's a job, you're wasting your time. Well, it's not fun no more.
On a few things you touched on, the conversation I had with a person who came up to me, I got off a Discord call with Raptor. I had my finger on the nuke button. Fun fact: Metaverse Degen almost got wiped off YouTube. I didn't really. I felt I was overwhelming myself, and I just kind of was spinning in circles, and I just kind of wanted to say, "Yeah, I'm done." But then a friend of mine who stepped out of VRChat to better his own life sent me a message out of the blue while my finger was hovering the delete channel button, and he said, "Whenever I watch Metaverse Degen, I feel like I'm with a friend group again." And that was the tipping point. Was like, yeah, I'm not stopping. I'm going to keep on going, even though I didn't know how much work would be going into it. And in reality, it's not a lot. It's just, but at the time, between juggling everything, I wasn't used to it yet. It was still brand new, but I still wanted to do 3 every week. Or at the time, I decided 4 or 5. I was like, why the fuck am I doing that? And that's when he said you need to slow it down. So he dropped it to 3. And then Courtney came on, and with that said, it kind of eased the burden a bit from what I wasn't used to. But because my friend came up and said, I feel like with a friend group again, it kept me motivated in a sense to keep going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep. It was one message away from this channel not existing.
That is quite the butterfly effect, if I don't say so myself.
One of the reasons why I always firmly believe, first of all, always talk to people. You never really know what kind of impact you'll have on them. It could be something as simple as I enjoy what you do, regardless of whatever it is, and the butterfly effect can be quite massive with certain people. That thing may be innocuous to you, can mean the world to someone else. Always remember that, you in the audience.
I mean, he's right. He's just right. There's no argument with that.
Nope.
A simple hello and listening to someone's story when they're upset could be the difference between life and them giving up. So with that said, bear that in mind wherever you go in life.
Well, speaking of where you want to go in life, Is there any dream passion projects you would either of you would like to do?
I have no idea. I'm trying to stay in the present the best I can. If I think too far in the head, I'm gonna find myself overwhelmed again. So I gotta stick with what I'm doing now. There's some things where I'd like to see happen, which is I'd like to see Metaverse Degen do more of a live show where we'd have a live podcast. We have an audience. We allow the audience to ask questions and a more live interactive feedback. But at the present moment, I don't think we're there yet. So for the meantime, I would like to see just continue on where Metaverse Degen is, get better at what we're doing, and eventually pick up that mantle where we'll try live shows. But in the meantime, I don't think we're there yet. At least I don't think anyway. Don't know about Raptor, but that's my input.
I got a lot of projects. Me and Lane talk about quite a few things. I ain't gonna let them out of the bag just yet. We've talked not too long ago a few others, in Discord and stuff like this. That has, it's not to benefit us, but it is in a way. But it's more giving our thanks to the people that are out there. We're doing something on the side. We're playing with that one yet, but everything costs. No matter what you look, the mighty buck always bites in the ass. If you know what I'm talking about, and that's the killer for anybody. It's not us, the mighty dollar. It's the dollar, because we're taking the money. If we come up with something that we want to do to show our appreciation to the folks that we've interviewed, or the puddle, or anything like this, it's got to come out of your pocket. And this day and age, money's tight. No matter what you do, you can come up with tons of ideas. Lion turns around and tells me to slow down because I've got so many things we can do. And he goes, wait until we get to here. Okay, no problem. That's not an issue. But if you don't have those sights on those big dreams, just a little, without overwhelming him or me, because we both have jobs and stuff like this, it's not going to blow up in our faces. And then it screws up everything. And that's not what we want. We want to go down that
Raptor,
road and still travel it.
It's good to look at the horizon, but every once in a while, pay attention to your feet. You may trip over something.
What, specifically Raptor?
Yeah, specifically Raptor. You don't see him sometimes.
I knew I knew that was coming from somebody. God damn. Thank God you don't have that ability. We'd be fucked. Can you imagine having that ability in VR? Walk up to somebody, trip over a fucking small thing, and you actually trip in your own fucking apartment? That'd be a bitch. Fuck that idea. I'd kill myself in my room.
Well, we may not have seen anyone do that, but we have seen some of our friends, which also in the shenanigans folder of Metaverse Degen, one of our friends from the Curse crew in the shenanigans section walked into their closet because they weren't paying attention. So you've seen that.
That was interesting, yes.
Yeah.
God damn it, I'm in my fucking closet. I remember that. He fucking yelled up a fucking storm. That was fucking hilarious as shit. We laughed our asses. What the fuck you doing in your closet for?
He's looking for his desk, but walked into his closet instead. He's heard the crunch of his headset.
I mean, you've heard of coming out the closet, but that's quite literally going into the closet instead. But yeah.
Yep.
The hard way. The fucking hard way, actually, in my opinion. The hell you do? Can you imagine what that sound like? I want you to logically think about that. Can you imagine walking around, all of a sudden your closet door's open, you walk into it and you're talking, all of a sudden you're going, wait a minute.
Raptor, you don't have to imagine. You can go back to the video and listen to it. You could hear it clear as day.
Fuck yeah, the echo
the rumble,
in there,
the crunch,
just
and the
nuts.
owl, you could hear it.
Yeah. It was funny and fuck. Yeah, just the way things happen in VR.
I mean, yeah, certainly right. But wrapping things up in a couple final questions. Who has or is inspiring you to do what you do? I know you've kind of mentioned, but is there anything else you'd like to add?
Inspirations. I listen to a lot of podcasts, so I'd say a lot of them have a lot of inspirations to me to why I continue. But why this even started to begin with was an inspiration, was Lolly Police who wanted to do it. It was his idea initially, and I'm just keeping it alive best I can. If someone hands you something, you don't kill it. Even though I almost did.
Yeah.
Oh, and Salty Fry. Love you, bud.
salty fry. My biggest thing in here to keep it going and stuff like this is the people itself. Without them, we're not going anywhere.
Mm.
You know, it's the people you bump heads with, the friends you make. Sometimes you make enemies. That's just the way it goes. You get that in the real world. You get that in here too. But the drive to meet new people, no matter where you're at. You know, I go to work and I tell them, yeah, I got a broadcast, and they'll look at me like, what? You're on YouTube? And I go, yeah, I'm Metaverse. Why in the fuck are you a fox? I still get the same shit even when I'm not in VR. It don't matter. And I just turn around and everything else like this and tell them, going, you can't judge me, and I don't judge you for what you do or what you have. So why are you judging me? And they shut down. Because 10 to 1, the biggest, hardest thing, no matter what you are, is if when you start judging, you judge yourself. It's the hardest. You can do it, but when you try to judge somebody else, you got to start looking at yourself first. And the people in here is what makes it worthwhile. And I enjoy it. Lion's Lion's a good friend. A lot of people give me shit. God, you married to him yet? Because I'm pretty much right to his hip, and I'm the old guy. He's younger. You know, it's like Abbott and Costello. You know, it just doesn't make sense. You know, what the fuck? Are you married to him? Are you dating him? And I go, no, I'm straight. Sorry, it's just no. We're just good friends, and we click. You got those people that you click with in VR, and those are the ones you keep bouncing back. You have You might drift out a little bit sometimes, but who doesn't? But you all, sooner or later, if you logically look at it, you come back on where my friends go to. I stepped outside the square. Now I got to step back in it. And they understand that everybody's got, when you find that group that understands that everybody does that, then that's a group you stick with. And that's our curse crew. Our curse crew is a shit kind of people. We're groups of others in Discord, stuff like that we hang with and stuff like this that we talk to.
Yeah.
They're still friends. Those are the friends that helped us where we needed them the most, when we needed somebody to talk to in a broadcast. Anything to keep us without going to the face down. And when you have friends like Line, one of these days I'm going to meet this fuck. Look out, wherever we go. I hope the town's going to be painted red because I'm going to bring my paintbrush. But, just having fun. Life's too short. Life's too fucking short. And when you look back at some of the mistakes you make, even in real life and then you're in VR, everybody makes mistakes. And that's what you learned, and you want to move forward. That's what me and Lion are doing. We're moving forward. So as a friend, he's one hell of a friend. I wouldn't give him up for all the rice in China. I don't give a fuck. Doesn't pay for shit, but hey, what the hell?
Can I hide you in the rice in China?
I don't know. You want to be a weed out in the middle of a waddy pad? You go right ahead. I don't care.
What's a waddy pad?
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know. I just said waddy pad. I don't know.
I'm gonna talk with a friend of ours, and if you might send me that clip, we'll make another fake commercial for the waddy pad.
Oh fuck! No, fuck the waddy pad. Oh boy. Thanks, Lion. You hero. Lion's my hero. Yeah, right. Yeah, like jock itch. Here we go back to the jock itch. Just can't find the can spray. Okay, no problem.
However, to close things off for people, and as the final thing I like to ask people, is there anyone either of you would suggest for me to interview in the future?
Do you have an hour?
Oh boy!
Because I can send you a lot of people. So, I mean, here's a good suggestion. If you go through Metaverse Degen, every single video in the description is how you can contact them and join their group. Every single person in our videos. So if there's anyone you find interesting, I'd heavily suggest everybody. First and foremost, everyone we've talked to is someone worth talking to. But if I was to highlight things for more interest and content related without seeming like everyone's worth talking to kind of cliche answer, there's a gentleman named Chill Out Charles who does Brain Goes into VRChat. That's one person I would suggest to, which he's coding a program where you can take brain states and turn those into actions in VRChat. Then there's Ali Aliquim and Mow the Lawn of Razumu, one of the older rave communities. There's skits and bits with Switzerland. There's I can
Fern.
go off for a very
Fern's another
yeah.
one. Fern.
It's the
Fern.
slime
You want to
community.
talk to a man that can. You want a man that'll talk your ear off, and he talks really good, and he's got a lot of ground under him. He's an older gentleman like I am. His name's Fern. He's on our list too. He's a hell of a guy.
We'll if you want suggestions, we can give you lots of them, and it'll be a really really long list because everybody we've
Very
talked
long
with is a
list.
fun person.
I'm always more
Yes.
welcome for more people. I love, as you can probably tell, I love talking to people, but that's just me.
Mm.
But
Mm.
thank you
What's wrong
for,
with that?
but thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you very much, Lion and Raptor. All means a lot.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
You get pleasure. No pleasure being here.
It's always appreciated. I hope you all had a lovely day, night, and or evening. Take care, and bye-bye.
Bye bye now.
Yo,
Remember, hit
folks.
the subscribe button, go to the fun bell, click that, and leave a comment right down below.
Thank you very
Subscribe now. His channel. Click it. You're here.
Not ours, his.